we're just about ready to get started. And so I'm going to turn my Do Not Disturb on so nobody can ding my phone, my computer while I'm singing. And so we begin with another version of Hine Matov, and I hope that everyone will clap along with us. Hine Matov. How sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov, hine matov, umanayim, sheberachim, gam yachad. Hine matov, umanayim, sheberachim, gam yachad.
Hello, friends.
Oh, first we're gonna do a little Boker Tov.
When I say Boker Tov, everybody say Boker Or.
Boker Or.
When I say Boker Tov, everybody say Boker Or.
Boker Or.
Everybody ready? Thumbs up. Everybody ready? Hands in the air. Everybody ready? Wave them around. Boker Tov.
Boker Or.
Good morning, friends. It is especially good and especially sweet to be with you this morning, to get to sing together and pray together and be together as a loving and caring community. We are so happy you are here. We are aware that our lives are full of miracles and blessings, things that make our lives wonderful. Sometimes they're big, sometimes they're very small, but noticing those blessings helps us to find our inner strength. So we are going to sing our Nisim B'chol Yom, our blessings for daily miracles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for knowing the difference between day and night.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for opening our eyes.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for giving us the ability to stretch.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for giving us the ability to lakum, stand up.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for giving us firm ground to stand on.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for giving us the ability to move. Take up your Zoom frame.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for giving us these clothes.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for giving us strength.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, for giving us the ability to lashevet. And so what we ask you to do now is to share miracles that you're feeling on this day. We're not going to share them in the chat today, but maybe just share with your family, anyone who's nearby you. And if you're sitting at your computer by yourself, maybe you can just take that moment to say, what am I grateful for today on this a little bit cloudy morning? And so as you're thinking about that, we are going to get ready for our Baruch with a little rap. So here we go. I said ho. I said, hey, I said, are you ready to pray?
I said, ho. I said, hey. I said, are you ready to pray?
Listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up. Let's come together to pray.
Listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up. Let's come together to pray.
I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is how we make a minion.
I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is how we make a minion.
I said hey. I said you. Now let's all stand up for Baruch Hu.
I said hey. I said you. Now let's all stand up for Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La 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 Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam
I heard a rumor that there was a rainbow outside this morning. Raise your hand if you saw a rainbow this morning. I see that someone in the Vincent house did. Maddie Frank saw a rainbow. See a couple more hands. That's awesome. Yeah, so some of us got that rainbow. That's awesome. So the wild thing is that when it gets cloudy, when it gets kind of dark and gross outside, that's the time when you might see something particularly beautiful like a rainbow. And so as you are in whatever room you're in, if it has a window, look out that window. Try and spot something beautiful that is in nature outside your window. If you don't have a window in your room, use the window in your brain to imagine something beautiful that is in nature. When we say our prayers in the morning, we say this prayer, Yotzer Or, which is about God creating light. Light is what makes rainbows. And light hitting the atmosphere. Anything more than that, you're going to have someone on this call who's better at science explain to you. But it is our opportunity to appreciate that there are all these miracles and beautiful things in nature that sometimes we don't notice. And so we have to stop and take a minute and take a breath and marvel at the fact that even when it's cloudy, there can be rainbows. Oh, I think Miss Stephanie was sharing a picture of the rainbow. Thank you. For those of us who missed it, we appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. And now we're going to do the Shema, so please join me in that sign language that we have been working on the past couple weeks. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Me'olam Va'ed. And now please have a seat as we do the Ve'ahavta. And I'm going to have a seat as well. So give me 1 second. There we go.
Can I just say how cool it is to watch you all do that sign language on gallery view and to see every single box moving? It is so neat and I love it so much.
It's also very powerful. Like it's neat and powerful because we're all sharing our voice with the Shema doing the sign language. So thank you for doing that. Now we'll do the Ve'ahavta. So if you're not already seated, now's the time. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha.
And now what is the Ve'ahavta saying? It's saying this. Love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. inside your heart. Teach these words, teach them well, and keep them safe inside your heart. Where you stand, where you lie, when you walk and when you rise. Rise up, raise your voices, rise up, lift them high, rise up. We can raise our voices, rise up, lift them high, rise up. So I wanted to share a special song with you, a special prayer this morning, since our theme of our new value that we are learning about is Ometz Lev, inner strength, and this idea of November being a time when we are thankful for all the little things around us. So we thought about that in our daily miracles, and maybe thinking about some of the things we're thankful for that give us strength every day. And so your job in this song is to sing, is to shout, yeehaw, okay, because you are thankful. So each time we get to a thing, you're going to say yeehaw. Here we go. Wake up in the morning, yeehaw, get myself going, yeehaw, feel myself growing, yeehaw, thank my lucky stars today. Thank you for my body, yeehaw, for keeping me healthy, yeehaw, I'm strong and mighty, yeehaw, thank my lucky stars today. Toda, toda, toda rabba, toda, toda, toda rabba. Let's see, what else am I thankful for? Thinking of my family, yeehaw, think how much they love me, yeehaw, always there to hug me, yeehaw, thank my lucky stars today. For the ground under my feet, yeehaw, for the cold and for the heat, yeehaw, for the food that we eat, yeehaw, thank my lucky stars today. And we sing, toda, toda, toda rabba, toda, toda, toda rabba, toda, toda, toda rabba, toda, toda, toda rabba.
Yeehaw! I love that one. That's wonderful. Thank you, Cantor, for helping us be grateful in this month of gratitude. I would argue that every month should be a month of gratitude, but I love that we have November to extra special focus on it. I want to tell you a story this morning that takes place in the part of the Torah that we are reading right now. This past Shabbat, we read Chayei Sarah, which is a Torah portion that was my bar mitzvah portion when I was a bar mitzvah 23 years ago. I think I did that math right. But I want to tell you a story. In this Torah portion, Abraham sends his servant Eliezer to go and find a wife for his son Isaac. And he says to go back east to the place where Abraham had been from, that he moved out of when he was a kid, when he went on his Lech Lecha journey, to find the perfect wife for Isaac. And Eliezer, the servant, is very worried because he doesn't know what he's supposed to be looking for to find the perfect wife for Isaac. And Abraham says, don't worry about it. God is going to send an angel to help you. And Eliezer finds this very comforting, and he says, okay. And so he packs up his camels and gets ready to go east to look for a wife for Isaac. And Abraham doesn't really know what it means that God's going to send an angel, but it sounded good. And even God doesn't really know what it means that God is going to send an angel, but it did sound good. So God starts to think, all right, how can I send an angel to help Eliezer? Angels in the Jewish tradition are these big, scary, terrifying creatures with lots of heads and legs and arms. They are very upsetting to look at. And so God thinks, oh, I can't just send an angel to go pick out a lady for Isaac to marry, because the angel will terrify her and she will run away and not want to marry Isaac. So what can I do? So God gets an idea, which is God will have to disguise the angel. But how can God disguise the angel so it fits in the story? God says, well, we're going to need an angel to wear a camel suit and pretend to be a camel. So God asks all the angels, who would like to help me out with this project and wear this camel suit? And none of the angels raise their hand because camel suits are very smelly. So God calls on Max the angel. And Max the angel is the angel who has to do all the things in the Torah that no other angels want to do. So like Max was the angel that had to explain to all the other lions and tigers that they weren't going to get on the ark. And Max was the angel that had to chase the snake in the Garden of Eden and catch it, and while it was wriggling, carry it outside of the garden because it got kicked out of the garden. Max was also the angel that had to pick up all the bugs and slugs and creepy crawly things when someone I think accidentally maybe shared their screen. Great. And had to pick up all the creepy crawly things so that Adam could name them in the Garden of Eden, and they all wriggled around on him and he did not like it. So God calls Max over and says, Max, I need you to do me a favor. And Max agrees because angels can't say no to God. And Max gets in the camel suit. But Max is not a great camel. Max is pretty good at speaking the language of camels, so that's good. But Max is terrible at making the sounds of camels. And camels make all kinds of awful, very unpleasant sounds. I don't know if you know this about camels. I don't know how much time you spent around a camel, but they are noisy creatures. And Max is bad at imitating the camels. And whenever Max tries to make camel sounds, all the other camels laugh at him and make fun of him. And so Max decides he's just going to be a very quiet camel. So Eliezer goes out on his journey. He takes 10 camels. Well, he takes 9 camels and Max. They go on their journey and they come to the place where Abraham is from, and they come to the well. And in the town where Abraham is from, they had a very small well. And so they didn't have a lot of camels in their town because camels drink a lot of water to fill their humps. And they were always worried if they had too many camels in town, then they would run out of water for the people. So they didn't have a lot of camels in town. Eliezer shows up at the time in the afternoon when all the young ladies of the village had come to draw water for their families and their flocks. And when he shows up with himself and his 10 camels, well, 9 camels and Max, all the ladies of the town shoo them away and they say, go, we don't like camels here. You got to take your camels somewhere else, find a different town, find a different well. We don't like strangers here. And they try and send Eliezer away, except for one person who had the Ometz Lev, who had the inner strength to stand up to all those people. And that was Rebecca. Rebecca was incredibly kind and caring. She cared about people and she cared about animals. In fact, it's said that she cared so much about animals that she knew all the different animal languages. She knew the language of birds, and she knew the language of chipmunks, and she knew the language even of camels. She didn't care for camels, not because they're stinky, which they are, and not because they drink a ton of water and you have to keep coming and bringing them more and more water to fill their humps, which they do, and not even because they spit, which they do a lot. She didn't like camels because they were so noisy and rude, and she didn't care for them, but she cared about all creatures, and so she was willing to take care even of the camels. So she goes up to Eliezer and she says to Eliezer, no, don't listen to them. Come to the well. I'm going to get you and your camels water. And all of the camels are very excited about this, and they all start to make all of their camel noises, except for Max, who doesn't say anything. And Rebecca goes up to Max the camel and she says, you are a very special camel. She says this in the language of camels because she speaks all the languages of the animals. She says, you are a very special camel. You didn't make any noises. You didn't make any fuss. So I tell you what, you can be the first camel to drink. And in the language of camels, Max responds and says, that's very kind of you, but my humps are actually very full of water. So why don't you give water to all the other camels first and to Eliezer? And Rebecca did just that. She kept going down to the well to get more and more water to fill a long trough so that all the camels could drink water. She filled a jug so that Eliezer could drink water. And when Eliezer had had his fill, and when all the camels had had their water, then Max went up and had a little bit of water. And from this, Eliezer could tell that Rebecca was incredibly kind, incredibly caring, and incredibly courageous. And he said to her the very next morning, would you like to travel with me to the promised land to meet my master Abraham and his son Isaac and marry his son Isaac? And Rebecca, who had heard of Abraham and Isaac from her family, said she would absolutely like to do that. And then she and Eliezer gathered the 9 camels. And she looked and looked and looked, but she could not find the 10th camel. And she was sad because she liked that camel most of all because he didn't make awful camel noises, but he seemed to have disappeared. So she and Eliezer, the 9 camels, traveled all the way back to the promised land to join our family and become a part of our story. And Max took off his camel suit and he went back to be with God. And God, when God saw Max, was so happy with the great job that Max had done of finding the right person to marry Isaac, that God went up and gave Max a kiss in the way that God kisses angels and said, I am so proud of you. You have done a wonderful job. And in fact, you have done such a wonderful job that I am thinking that I have another project for you. In a little while, I'm going to need to talk to this guy named Moses, and I'm going to need a system for getting his attention. And I have this idea. It involves a bush, and you're going to love it. But what I need you to do right now is, can you go just try on that fireproof suit for size? And that's the end of my story.
Thank you, Rabbi, for that beautiful, beautiful story. It's so good to learn about Max the camel and Rebecca's deep kindness and her ometz lev, her inner strength. And so we've been talking a lot in our classes about ometz lev, about our inner strength, and about how our ometz lev helps us when we're faced with what we call big feelings moments, with times when we have a lot of feelings to process. And many of us are in a time right now when we are processing a lot of big feelings. And sometimes our own ometz lev is so strong, but sometimes it's not enough. And that's when we need our community, and we need our community. Like we talked about last month, we talked about that sometimes our community can be our Sukkot Shalom, can be our shelter of peace, can help us when our own ometz lev, our own inner strength is not enough. And one of the ways in which our community functions as a Sukkot Shalom for each other is that we pray together and we sing together like we're doing this morning. And so the next song that Cantor is going to share with us is Oseh Shalom, which comes from the end of our Kaddish prayer. And it says, may the one who brings peace bring peace to us. May we be each other's Sukkot Shalom today.
Oseh Shalom, Bimromav.
Oseh Shalom, Bimromav.
Uyaseh, uyaseh, uyaseh Shalom.
Huyase, 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 shalom.
Huyaseh, huyaseh, huyaseh Shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh my gosh, Stephanie is doing the most beautiful movements right now. Can we spotlight Stephanie with us so we can learn this? It looks like, may the one, teach us. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. I love that. Let's do this whole part again with my helpers, Amanda and Noah. So we go. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
Noah, take it.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav.
Oseh Shalom, Bimromav.
All right, Rabbi, take us away.
Well, it is really, really wonderful to be with you. It is wonderful to be with you in this month where we are thinking about gratitude. It is wonderful to be with you in this month where we are thinking about Ometz Lev, inner strength. It is this wonderful to be with you when we can be a source of peace for each other and comfort and strength for each other as we navigate this world. So we are so grateful to get to be with you. And we are going to sing a little bit about another thing that can give us inner strength, which is the tree of life, which is our Torah, which provides us strength and guidance for how to live.
And remember that tree of life, that tree Eitz Chaim starts with Ayin that we had learned about, one of our letters we'd learned about. And so we're going to sing with our movements so we can all be a tree. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. And now we're going to swim. Shalom, shalom.
It is a tree.
Shalom, shalom.
It is a tree.
It's not a bush. Shalom, shalom.
The tree of life.
Shalom, shalom. Let's do it again. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. One more time with our swimming. Shalom, shalom.
It is a tree.
Shalom, shalom.
It's not a bush.
Shalom, shalom.
The tree of life.
Shalom, shalom. Big finish. Shalom. And now we have a few announcements, which I'm happy to do unless Stephanie wants to jump in.
I can do that. Parents, please be aware of two things. First of all, the Love Starts the Learning Parent Education program that we were going to have this morning is being rescheduled. We will let you know the new date as soon as we have it. Also, I want you to know that that Rabbi Fixler will be joining Lucy and me while the kids are in their classes, if any parents need to speak with us. After Tfilah, we will have our Rega B'Ivrit, our moment of Hebrew with Miss Sophie and Miss Cami. And then we will be breaking out into our breakout rooms as usual. Please make sure to look for those join breakout room buttons and click them when you see them. And just a reminder, this is our last time together before Thanksgiving break. There will not be class next Sunday or the Sunday following as we go for Thanksgiving break. We will see you again on Sunday, December 6th. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and safe time with your families. And take it away, Miss Sophie.
Who's got the yay? It's time for read a moment of Hebrew. Next, the letter of the week is Hey. Happy birthday, Yom Huledet Sameach. Next, what's this letter? Type it in the chat. I already gave a clue. It starts a lot of important words like Huledet. Hey also ends a lot of important words like Torah. What's the letter that starts the word Torah? Type it in the chat. Tav. That's right, Tav. When we want to tell someone everything's okay, we say everything's in order. Hakol beseder. Ha means the. We call our service at Pesach a Seder. What's the letter that starts the word Seder? Type it in the chat. Samech. That's right. It's Samech. And when we need to go to the Torah to read, when we sing songs to our group, when we tell stories or give a Devar Torah, we also need to depend on our Ometz Lev, our inner strength, to tell us that everything is going to be okay. Whenever I do these Rega Ba'avrit, I always worry. Am I going to do okay? I need to know that with my group, I have Ometz Lev, Sukkot Shalom. That's the end of that. Time for Hebrew through movement. All eyes on Cammie. I have to get to Cammie. Just show Cammie. She's going to demonstrate. Is Cammie here? Hi, Cammie. Lakum. Everybody do what Cammie's doing. Lakum. Lashevet. Lalekat. 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 Latzor. Lahistovev. 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 Latzor. Leak pots. Leak pots. Leak pots. Latzor. Lashevet. All done.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cammie and Ms. Sophie. We are going to open the breakout rooms here. They are open, so if you will look down on your screen for that little join breakout rooms button, you should end up in the right place. Kelly's iPhone, what is your last name? Whose class are you supposed to be in?
Miss Lucy, can we